A lot of realtors are walking this way, and I'm just going to ask if they know how to house homeless veterans. Do you know how to house homeless veterans?
No.
No.
Okay.
I sadly do not.
I do not, but I would love to learn.
I do not.
I do not, but I would like to know how.
The answer to that is no.
No. Do you know how to house homeless veterans?
I do not.
I do not.
Do you know?
He's a veteran and he would be
Come
homeless
here.
if I did not house.
Okay. We're here at the Capitol, Illinois State Capitol. This is the lobby day for realtors. And I did make an announcement on the bus about my 3-hour course that I wrote to teach realtors how to work effectively. Because a veteran is homeless doesn't mean they don't have resources to use to get housed or to get anything else they need, because they do. But how do you get to those resources to help that homeless veteran get housed? I've got the class, and it'll be out soon. Hello and welcome. Welcome back to another episode of 15 Minutes, Boots on the Ground, my end of day roundup. And it has been an extraordinarily, oh man, I don't even know the word. I should have written some words down to describe this day. Well, let me just tell y'all what happened. There will be a huge Veterans Resource Fair on November 6th. I'm keeping my fingers crossed because a lot of those employees who were on that committee and who were responsible for helping to bring this to life to Chicago, a huge Veterans Resource Fair in Chicago at the University of Chicago, Illinois. And today, and also yesterday, a lot of those employees from the Veterans Benefits VBA administration, and I believe that from the VHA, but I know for sure from the VBA because I spoke to one personally today who is being furloughed as of tomorrow. There were some veterans from the VBA in Washington that were furloughed as of yesterday, which it came as, we've been hearing that some positions will be furloughed, and we just didn't know when, and well, they did. I wasn't in the mix with that, but it all happened where we were putting together and still putting together this huge resource fair for veterans on November 6th, right here in Chicago at the University of Chicago, where I've been asked to sit at the round table to speak about veterans' health benefits and all that goes with housing. So how you're going to be healthy and whole and homeless. My name is Yvette, advocate and business professional services government contractor. I'm a whole lot of things rolled up into one ball of a person who started out as a homeless female veteran and now have housed over 5,000 homeless veterans nationwide and still doing that to this day. I'm currently working with the veteran in New York who is a homeless veteran, 100% service connected, in her car with her 2 service dogs and her husband, and she's awaiting for HUD-VASH voucher. Well, luckily, we're already in communication with a lot of agencies in New York that have supportive services. I received a phone call this morning from Tunnels to Tower, but they're like, oh, you got the phone call, but they're not open today, so they'll call you back tomorrow. And then there was a really nice intake girl who I spoke to who said, I'll take the information, but the turnaround time is about 4 weeks. Well, 4 weeks, this veteran is still in her car. So I came up with a little solution to that dilemma. And the same resources that I sent the young lady, the homeless female veteran in New York, are the same resources that were shared with all of these organizations that, listen, you're not the only ball in the ball game. So if your organization can help, these are some additional organizations that you can put in your toolkits to help service veterans when they come in. And I wrote a book about that because a lot of agencies who have social workers, case managers, human care professionals, they don't know about all the resources in the community. But this book, I should tell y'all this too, I'm the author of the U.S. Military Veterans Educational and Resources Guide. And this is the one for social workers, case managers, and human care professionals. Because if they don't have the resources at their fingertips or don't know how to access those resources quickly, then that veteran leaves their office homeless. And we don't want that. We really don't. But agencies, social workers, case managers, human care professionals, first responders, realtors. I wrote that book too. That book is right here to teach realtors how to work effectively in the homeless veterans community, from homeless to home ownership. As realtors, it is our responsibility to move people. That's what we do. We are professional movers. So we move people from where they are to someplace to live, and that includes homeless veterans. But if a realtor is not equipped with that information and with that knowledge, then they wouldn't know how to use the over $900 million that has been awarded to over 500 agencies within our communities nationwide. And these organizations, just put in your notes, SSV as in victory, F. So you got Sierra, Victor, Foxtrot, SSVF. Those are the agencies right here that have received this 235 on this list, and it's another 176 on this list. These organizations have received funding through grants and per diem, but money that they need to use in support of our homeless veterans community. Now, what happens? You say, well, why do we have so many homeless veterans and we have all this money in our community? Well, now, have you ever seen one of these organizations with the sign on the side of a bus? I haven't. Have you ever seen one of these you don't even know the organizations I'm talking about because you've never seen them. They don't advertise. And because they don't advertise, you don't know where the money is. So think about it. If they don't advertise, you don't know where the money is. Guess what? The homeless veteran doesn't know about these organizations either. But it's their responsibility to go out into the community to let homeless veterans know, to let community members know that, hey, let me just tell y'all like this, and I'm gonna bring y'all to Chicago, because I'm just talking about in the community at large. I'm not talking about these organizations going to housing fairs or resource fairs or stand downs. No. I'm talking about these organizations going into the community, finding homeless veterans, putting flyers out, putting signs out that we are your organization that is here to support homeless veterans with this money that we received. So for instance, I'm in Illinois, I'm in Chicago. Now, thresholds. Has anybody ever heard of thresholds? If you're not of in the veteran circle, you haven't gone to any, thank you for that. If you haven't gone to any stand downs or any veteran housing resource fairs, have you ever heard of thresholds? Did you know that they have money for homeless veterans? Let's go to LA. Has anyone in LA ever heard of Hope Center? And Hope Center received a little over $3 million. Let's go back up because I didn't tell y'all how much Heartland Human Care Services received. They received $4,738,000. But if you don't know about Heartland Human Care Services or Feather Fist or Midwest Shelter for Homeless Veterans or Care Inc. in Indiana or Catholic Charities of Kansas City, St. Joseph Incorporated in Kansas and Missouri, or Start Corporation in Louisiana, then how would you know as a homeless veteran that these organizations are in your community to help get you off the street? Or how would you know as a member of the family of a homeless veteran about these organizations if you're not in the community? So a homeless veteran would go to the hospital because everybody, you homeless, go to your nearest VA. Yeah, and if they're not communicating to you about these organizations that they can send a referral letter because you don't qualify for what I have on my checklist, but I can refer you over to these other organizations and see what resources they have for you. You might be a homeless veteran who needs a transitional facility. And I'm helping, I've got a book about that. I should tell y'all about my educational book series. I've got a book for those who say that I want to help house homeless veterans and I want to create the housing for them transitionally or permanently. It doesn't matter. You can do that if you have the property or you have the wherewithal to go get it, then you can do that. So this book right here, Innovative Housing Solutions, A Guide to Veterans Shared Living Models. That's the book. And it guides you through step by step how to set up your veteran housing living model. And I also show you how to go and find these organizations and get the veterans to you that these organizations will be paying for. And also, you can even go in reverse. If you know of a homeless veteran, then you can refer that homeless veteran to these organizations to see what services they have. If you're in my group, you're going to know what organizations these are. You're going to know how to contact these organizations. You're going to know how to research these organizations to find out how you can align your veterans' housing with this funding. Now, you might say that I don't want to do transitional housing. That's your prerogative. You might say that I have a single family house. I've got a condo. I've got multi-units that I want to fill up with veterans. How do I do that? But I don't want to do transitional. They're going to get a lease. All right, that's fine. We have veterans in every community, every part of United States of America. We have veterans who get HUD VASH vouchers. So now you want a veteran to stay in your unit on a year lease and you want to renew their lease year 2, they're good tenants, year 3, you get the drift. So that's fine. You can do that. And I work with you doing that as well. But I work with you in a totally different way. Because in order to house homeless veterans, we have to remove barriers. And those barriers are very simple, but as realtors, and that's why I wrote the book for realtors can't separate how tenants are accepted. And some landlords, they don't know how else to accept and qualify and approve tenants other than the traditional methods of, we got to do a credit check. We have to do a background check. We have to do all these different checks. And I get it. I'm not asking you not to. If that's your business model, because if you don't do it for the homeless veteran who has this guaranteed funds from a HUD VASH voucher, and you did it for every other tenant who now lives in your properties, then you are committing discrimination against all those other tenants who had to do those credit checks background checks, employment checks, all of those other things. So I work with, and this is how I teach my realtors. Get the book. I work with individual property owners. Some of my property owners, they look, Yvette, look, I don't need to do all of that. And I explain to my property owners, my investors, these tenants, these veterans who have HUD-VASH vouchers, who have a portion of this $818 million or that $174 million, they've already been $84 million. These veterans who have this funding and HUD-VASH, they've already been vetted. They trust and believe. They've already gone through checks and balances from the federal government. When they sit down with a social worker, case manager, human care professional, and they have a checklist. You're homeless, yes. Where did you sleep last night? You got to say the right thing because you have to qualify based on this checklist. Oh, I slept on a park bench behind a bush where nobody could see me. Okay, good. Not good, but you passed that question. And it's the whole a litany of questions that intake that this homeless veteran goes through in order to find out if they qualify for HUD-VASH or any of the other funding sources that the checklist requires. So let's say they got through that. And not only that, they know the mental, they know the physical, they know how much money you're getting. So they know everything about this veteran, everything. And this veteran passes with flying colors. They're homeless. They don't have any money. They don't have anywhere they can sleep tonight. They are chronic homeless. So guess what? And they are patients of the VA hospital, so that they can receive other services when they get that HUD-VASH voucher and move. Because this veteran who went through the initial checklist, they're going to go through another qualification process, and that's with HUD to make sure they qualify for a HUD-VASH voucher. So all of these federal, all of these, the VA, the HUD, your local housing authority, they have put these veterans, homeless veterans, through all of these checks and balances. So when I'm working with my investors, I'm like, what more do you need? You want cash flow? You want to have a tenant with case management, social service, social worker who follows them and who follows up with them? Yeah, you can have that. And you want to get all the rent that you're asking for guaranteed to your bank account every month, you can have that. But if you say, Yvette, I want to do a credit check, the veteran is already denied. I want to do a background check. In some cases, that veteran, according to your standards, will be denied. I want to do an eviction check. Well, in some cases, in your standards, that veteran will be denied. So you see, so all of these outside roadblocks is what keeps a veteran with the voucher homeless. So what's the use of going through all of these checks and balances from the VA, from HUD, from your local housing authority, just to come out into the community with that gold ticket? Those vouchers are the golden ticket to erasing that veteran's homeless status. You're no longer homeless. The checkbox is marked. But what happens is you have a credit check. You have a background check. You have an eviction report. You have You might want to say, I want to see where they live in right now. Well, they're homeless. Where you want to look? On the park bench behind the bushes that they were sleeping. So those are barriers to veterans homelessness. And the veterans, the investors who I work with, they help to delete and erase those barriers. They're like, look, we don't need a credit check, Yvette. We don't need a background check. Like you said, they've already been put through all of that. So we know. We don't need to know if they were evicted before, because if you're a homeless veteran, you lost your job, you lost everything, you probably did get evicted. I've housed veterans with 3 evictions on their credit. Things happen. But it shouldn't negate the fact that veterans have resources to pay their rent. And all veterans need is a second chance. That's how I operate as a realtor, as a compassionate realtor to my fellow veterans. That's me at 18, I think I was 19 in that picture. When I came home from the military, and the reason why I do what I do is because I was a homeless veteran. I was a homeless female veteran in a marriage of domestic abuse. So put that on top of me being homeless. So now, back in the day, they were like, if you have an order of protection on somebody, we don't want to house you because that person might come back and do damage to our property trying to get to you. That might happen. I know a guy, he jumped through the window. He jumped on a dumpster to the girl's second floor window and went in, and we had to go over there at midnight and move her to another location where she bet not had told him where we moved her to. And this building was more secure. It had a buzzer, had 2 buzzers, front door and the second door, key with the buzzer. So he couldn't get in there. He wouldn't know what floor we put her on anyway. But so things do happen. And when I understand that, but working within the homeless veterans community, you're going to get a lot. You're going to get a lot of things to do in order to work in this community effectively. And that is why I wrote this U.S. military veterans educational and resources guidebook series. And it's more than one book, because it's more information that I could ever put in one book. So I encourage you, if you want to learn, if you want to work in this homeless veterans community as a resource, as a source for housing, as a source for healing, then I suggest you get a book or 2 or get the whole library so you can learn. That's how I operate. So let me go ahead and thank you all for being here. I've already been here 22 minutes. Thank you all for being here. Hey, Mr. Bain. Mr. Bain, hey, I want you to stay here, Mr. Bain. I have a special treat for you. You're on this video that's coming up, and you're going to be speaking. You're a movie star, Mr. Bain. So we have Mr. Bain on here, one of the former homeless veterans. Mr. Bain is one of the former homeless veterans who I housed maybe 15 years ago. And maybe 9, 10, something like that. So Olivia Chandler, thank you for those. I don't know what they are. Olivia, powerful message. Thank you for sharing this journey. Oh, it's my pleasure. How can realtors best connect with the local veterans housing programs? Get my book and read it to learn how to do that. Connect with the local housing programs. Love the practical strategies for shared daily. My pleasure, my pleasure. And then we have Dave, great insight on compliance and procurement. Yes, so needed. Mr. Bain, hello. Hey, Mr. Bain. Hey, Mr. Bain, I'm so glad you're here. I'm about to play the outro, the out video, and just introduce you, Mr. Bain. I didn't even know you're going to be on. Over here on TikTok, I want to thank you all for joining today. And if you can, click like and share the video, and that would be all good. Did somebody else? Great. Okay. Did somebody else say something over here? So I'm streaming live on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, and TikTok to get this message out. I haven't had to share this information with anybody, because for 22 plus years, I have been, you say, I have been working directly at the VA, at the vet centers, at the city colleges. So my whole audience was the veterans community. So now I asked myself, how can I expand that reach and let everybody know how you can help homeless veterans get housed, how you can help find information and resources to help veterans receive the resources that they need. How can you help in this veterans community? Well, I would say start reading, go to my bio and get some books. Mr. Bain, I still have to send you this book, Finding Home. I don't know if it was that book. Busy you are. Yes, I am. A guide to veterans shared living models, the Realtor's Blueprint, the book for social workers, case managers, human care professionals, veterans from boots to business. I'm still working on this book, so it's not released yet. Veterans Care Entrepreneurship Guide. This one is on the website. So stick around. I want to introduce y'all to a few veterans who were housed over the years. And I want to thank y'all for watching. Over 5,000 homeless veterans housed. Hey, Mr. Bain, how are you?
Well, how are you?
Excellent. Tell the people what you want to say.
Young Yvette here's housed so many veterans. She's helped me so much. And now I bump into her over here, Jesse Brown.
It's so good to see you. I'm going to show him your hat because you are a Navy man.
Yes, I am.
A proud Navy man. I'm so proud of you. I'm going to go holler at Bob. These are two of the veterans that I housed. Just met in the hallway. That's it. Go, don't run nobody over. Yes, it is. Who are you? Can stand up now. Look at you. Look at you. Don't do. You coming?
Yeah, I can't get my mind focused on getting a house.
Yes, we can get you a house. That brightened my day. I was about to cry. I'll tell y'all that story later. Yep, housing homeless veterans. Mr. Bain, did you like that? Your cameo. Thank y'all for watching. Until tomorrow, 5:15. Oh, wait a minute. I'll be here tomorrow at 10 a.m. because we are talking about a realtor's blueprint for, oh, wait a minute. No, we're wrapping up Finding Home. We're wrapping up Finding Home, and then we're introducing a realtor's blueprint. So I'll see y'all tomorrow at 10 a.m. Central. And then again at 5 p.m. Central, just for how my day went. Man, it is crazy, but I love it.
Across America, too many of our heroes return home only to face another battle, the fight for stable housing. Veterans are overrepresented in the homeless population, often caught in a system that is complex, slow, and full of barriers. At VetMentors, we're changing that narrative. For over 20 years, we've been boots on the ground, not just identifying the problem, but building real solutions. That's why we created the U.S. Military Veterans Educational and Resource Guide book series, a groundbreaking collection designed to educate, equip, and empower. These guidebooks are written not only for veterans, but also for the communities, organizations, and leaders who serve them. From step-by-step housing models to funding strategies, this series gives social workers, case managers, realtors, and first responders the tools they need to act with speed, dignity, and impact. VetMentors believes housing is not charity. It's a mission, a responsibility, and a pathway to restoring honor. Every guidebook in this series is a resource designed to make sure no veteran is left behind, and no community has to say, "We didn't know how to help." This is how we turn challenges into victories. I'm Yvette Jones Swanson, Army veteran, CEO of VetMentors LLC, and I invite you to join us in rewriting the story for America's veterans.